Hi, it's Rob Levy again. Hey, welcome back to my videos. Thanks for watching all of these, by the way. I get so many nice comments and emails from people. I really appreciate them. Which, by the way, if you do want to keep getting them, click on subscribe down below and feel free to share with a friend at any time. What I wanted to talk to you about this time, and I'm coming at you with 34 years of knowledge in the real estate industry, is kind of where things are at as far as if you're a buyer right now. And this video should be broadcasted on September 1st of 2022 as we enter well into the second half of the year. And of course, where we have been is what's called a seller's market for the last couple of years. And I think everybody watching this knows what a seller's market is, but what they're not sure about is where it switches back over to a buyer's market. This chart right up here kind of shows you what's going on. So basically this describes a buyer's market and a seller's market. And most experts basically say that anywhere between, let's say, 5 and 7 months is what's called a balanced market, where there's an equal amount of buyers versus sellers on the market. You might want to consider that more of a normal market. Obviously, the last couple of years, the sellers have been driving everything, and then multiple offers on houses, and buyers basically had no say. Well, what's happened is a couple of things. Number one is that the interest rates have gone up. These crazy low interest rates that we've been teased with the last couple of years, as low as 2.5%, were unrealistic. If we look at this chart right up here, you can see that going back the last many decades, the reality is even today's interest rates in the mid-5s are still phenomenally good rates compared to what the standards have been over the last many decades. So we've kind of been teased with that. But the reality is the rates have gone up a bit, so that's slowed the number of buyers. At the same time, there are more buyers that are in their houses that are selling, so they're putting their houses on the market. And if you look at this chart right up here, there's more inventory. So we've got more inventory, which means more homes to choose from with a little bit fewer buyers buying them. That means the buyers are in the driver's seat. So now might be a really good time to consider buying a home. Now, there's a couple of things to consider, because I've had people say, hey, Rob, listen, I just can't afford it. These interest rates are higher right now. Well, sellers are open to concessions. We've put a couple of transactions together recently where we've had the seller pay concessions for the buyer. One of those concessions can be buying down an interest rate. I was looking this morning at a $650,000 house where the seller is willing to pay up to $10,000 to buy down the buyer's interest rate, and that lowers it down to around, I think it was like 5.25% or less, but the payment was about $400 less on a $500,000 plus loan. If your housing market that you're watching this video in right now is a $300,000 market, obviously that makes a huge difference in that market. So that's one thing to consider right now as a buyer. Another thought that I wanted to pass along is that over the last 2 years, I guess, basically, as a top-selling realtor in my marketplace here in Portland, Oregon, we've seen a situation where, let's say a house is worth $650,000. Somebody put it on the market for $700,000 and it sold for $7.25. It was never really worth $7.25. That's just what somebody was willing to pay for it. Well, as this slowed down, we saw a few sellers put their houses on the market and said, hey, that sold for $7.25. I should be able to get $750 for this. But remember, I said the house was never worth $7.25. They're starting to realize now that they may have overpriced their house. So we have seen in the last couple of weeks in my marketplace, over 50% of homes have reduced their price. So we've got more inventory, we've got interest rates that have kind of stabilized, we've got sellers that are willing now to open the door and say, okay, we're willing to help, we can give you some concessions, and so on. So there's many different reasons, and of course sellers want those concessions, meaning buy downs. So if you're thinking about buying a house, now may be a great time to take a look at it. Reach out to me. By the way, I'm in Portland, Oregon, as I mentioned, but I'm connected with top agents all around the country. So reach out to me here and I can connect you with just about anybody. Several of the people that watch my videos have done that, and I've referred you to great realtors. Again, thank you so much for watching these videos, and click on subscribe, click on share, and I appreciate it.